Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Monday after show, Tusk Talk with Ty, live. I mean, I guess the apathy is kind of worn off a little bit from Saturday, just a little bit. Precia Armstrong, hey Ty, let's get it. Hey, how you doing? It's good to see you in chat, Miss Armstrong. We got a lot to talk about. I mean, you can see it on your screen here. We're going to discuss everything here and then a little more. But I do appreciate you guys. Make sure you like, share. Listen, sharing is caring. All right? Sharing is absolutely caring. So make sure you do that for your boy, all right? Small, independent, solo act right here. Doing it for you guys. And I love doing every bit of it. Whether there's 5 people or 150 people, 500 people in chat, I don't care. I enjoy doing it, but it does help when you guys share and check out all the links provided for you down below, including Patreon and all the sponsors and everything. We have a poll up. Biggest Arkansas on the field problem currently. That is the poll. Take it. Tell me what you think. Maybe elaborate a little bit. And if you're watching this after the fact, if you're catching this live show after the fact, the poll options, I'm not sure if you could see them actually if you're not here live. I don't know if you can actually see the poll or not. I've never thought to look, but the poll is, and you can tell us after the fact or after the live show, biggest Arkansas on the field problem currently. Offensive line, mostly pass protect. I think we can all agree that's certainly – it's been a little bit of an issue, right? QB play. We heard Pittman talk a little bit earlier about Green and his confidence. We're going to get into that a little bit. Tight ends not involved more. You would not believe how often I am DM'd this question. How often it has come up. People in Discord talking about it. This is it. So I figured, why not? Let's put it on there. And then lack of a pass rush. Now, maybe there's more, right? There's some secondary issues. There's, again, you could probably, I was going to say targeting just one receiver, but by God, that one receiver's pretty damn good, though, isn't he? That one receiver's pretty impressive. So you can't blame him for targeting Armstrong. Armstrong has been fantastic this year. Imagine his numbers if he was healthy and good to go week 1, right? So again, offensive line, quarterback play, tight ends not involved more, lack of pass rush. You guys tell me after the fact when you're watching this. I hope sound has gotten straightened out. It was pointed out to me that my last live show that there was an echo in the intro, and I don't know, OBS just being silly, but I think I fixed it, so hopefully the sound is doing okay. You need all the above. Okay, so here's the problem with all the above is that there's still more options. Guys, I'm probably missing 2 or 3 other things here, right? I could have done all the above. The problem is you only get 4 options, and there are realistically probably about 6 things you can go in real deep, right? And again, this is on the field problems. I'm not talking about clock management or time management, game management, adjustments, halftime adjustments. We could have gone into the off the field stuff, right? The stuff that's happening off the field when it comes to the coaches. So yeah, all right. Let's read some comments here really quick. Biggest can't be all the above if it's the biggest issue. That's also true. That's also very fair, Megan. Very good point. Very good point. So yeah, again, make sure you guys please like the stream, share it. Doesn't have to just be on social media. Share it to your friends and family. Copy and paste the little arrow wherever it is on your screen. All right. I did, before we got into all the Arkansas stuff, because there is a lot to discuss. By the way, shout out to Arkansas Sports Network, by the way, for allowing us to stream on their Facebook. So shout out to all the ASN folks. If you have any questions or comments over there, fire away. I'm going to try and keep that page in front of me. But if you guys, again, if you have any questions or comments or anything you want to add to maybe you've got a thought on the poll that I just talked about, feel free to fire away in the comment section over there. And don't forget to come over to Tusk Talk with Ty YouTube and subscribe to the channel. And for everybody here, you need to go follow ASN, Arkansas Sports Network, on Facebook. Again, we appreciate them. Just another way to find Tusk Talk with Ty. Wanted to go over some stuff about Saturday really quick. Not just Arkansas, but just talking about around the league, some of the scores, some of the stuff that went down. We kind of touched on some of it on Saturday in the postgame. But there was some very fascinating stuff. Like Miami looked a little suspect against Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, this is the same team that's now sub 500. They were 500 going into this game. They're not a very good team. They lost to Vanderbilt. They showed that Miami maybe, I don't know, do we reconsider them as a top 6, top 7 team? Top 8? Miami won that game 38-34. Mississippi State kind of held on to Texas for a little bit. Texas would end up winning 35-13. I think some of that, and this is crazy to think about with it being conference play, I think some of that was Texas absolutely overlooked Mississippi State. This was just kind of a, I don't know. I definitely would. It's still a pretty big gap, right? You won 35-13. Nobody should be shaking their head. No Texas fan should be upset at that. You still beat an SEC school, no matter how good or bad, 35-13. You still took care of business. I would have guessed that score to be like, I don't know, 55-10, 55-3, as dysfunctional as Mississippi State has looked. But they only got 13 points, but Texas only with 35. So, again, that was a little bit surprising. Alabama upsetting. Well, it's not an upset. I'm sorry, but it's Alabama getting the dub over Georgia, 41-34. That looked like it was going to get out of hand quick, especially right at halftime. It's a pretty big lead. I think it was 29-7 or something. It was some crazy score. And Alabama, what was that final score? 41-34. So yeah, Michigan State, Ohio State. I know we're out of the SEC here, but I really thought Michigan State might actually put up a little bit of a fight, but Ohio State looking the part. They got a nice win. They won by 31 points. I don't remember the spread on that, but I want to say it was 17, but I think that's wrong. But Ohio State got the dub there, 38-7. But the big talk of the weekend, at least in SEC play, we could talk about Michigan struggling to beat, Minnesota, who's sub 500. They won by a field goal at home. We could talk about that. Notre Dame beating Louisville. I had Louisville with that game. I had Louisville winning. But the talk of the weekend is Kentucky with the upset at Ole Miss. We talked about this on Friday. Now, I would have picked Ole Miss to win this game, absolutely. But Kentucky found a way. And I told you guys on Friday, I'm going to do that thing. I'm going to pat myself on the back if I could do it. I said this is going to be a game to watch. This is going to be interesting. Kentucky with that defense, and look what they did. Their game planning, Arkansas, are you paying attention, was to dominate the time of possession and force Ole Miss to beat you in the trenches. Now, Parrish had a pretty good game. Dart still threw for 260. With a touchdown. But Kentucky made Ole Miss play down in the mud with them, and they came out the victors. Ole Miss overrated? Sure, absolutely. Someone brought it up in Discord. Shout out. I think it was Paul who said Ole Miss just hasn't played anybody, and he's dead on right. Ole Miss hasn't played anybody. They haven't been truly tested. And we've said this about other matchups and other teams. It's always important to look at teams. And, again, I brought this up on Friday. Kentucky's already played Georgia. And I completely forgot about the South Carolina game. I completely forgot about that game on Saturday. But they learned a little bit from those losses, and good teams learn from losing. They learn from losing. Why is this hard to comprehend in Fayetteville? They learn from losing. Yes, Ole Miss, not a top 10 team. Okay? You're losing at home to an unranked 500, barely 500 SEC team that got smoked at South Carolina. I say smoked. They gave up some points to South Carolina already with some losses under the belt. Couple of, now they're 1-2 in conference play. They're 0-2, and that's who you lost to. Did Ole Miss maybe overlook them a little bit? Possibly. Do I still think Ole Miss goes on and probably wins a bunch of games? Sure. But Kentucky learned. They licked their wounds and they went into this game and they found a way to get the dub. 20-17. That's a big upset because I don't think anybody, including myself, I didn't think Ole Miss was going to lose this game. I thought Kentucky was going to lose, but I knew it would be a tough game. I knew it was going to be tough. Didn't think they would lose it, and they did. They lost it. Again, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe if you're new here, please. Arkansas beat Arkansas again, says Angel. You're not wrong. To be honest, it's easy to put it on the O-line. Okay, so we're talking about the poll here. To be honest, it's easy to put it on the O-line. A lot of the time, if the O-line does good, they get no praise. So we put everything on the O-line now. But the offensive line, I mean, even Pittman talked about it today. I mean, it has been a problem though, Cameron. I mean, it absolutely has. Maybe not to the extent that everyone believes that it is, but there are guys, Blackstock, a couple of the interior guys, right? You got 3 guys playing in the interior. I mean, do the math. There's a couple guys that just seem lost on plays. They're on pulls, they're either late to their gap or they're missing the kick out block, whatever the case may be. There seems to be a little bit of miscommunication. It could be from the quarterback, and I've been saying this for 3 weeks. Someone else says, oh, my God, it's genius, and I've been saying it for 3 freaking weeks. It might be pre-snap issues with Taylen Green. It might be him not sliding protection correctly in the right direction, identifying the defense, watching and finding the mic, figuring out what's happening with the defense pre-snap. It could very well also be on Green, and I'm getting people commenting like, oh, it's so easy to put it on the offensive line because they have lost one-on-one battles. They have. They've been exploited. And then they played an actual talented defensive front in A&M's game plan on defense along with the talent. Coaching matters, guys. Preparation matters. All this stuff matters. Braves are still alive. Would hate to be a Cardinal fan. Why are you in here talking shit about the Cardinals, Kerper? Like, we're in here talking about the Razorbacks, and you got to throw the Cardinals under the bus. Like, bro, get with the program. We're not talking about the Cardinals right now. You would not have 3 turnovers without that defensive line A&M has. Yeah, that A&M defensive line has some talent. They absolutely do. They have some talent. Their run defense has been a little sus. Kerper, all I got to say, man, is you guys got a ways to go to catch up with the Cardinals organization. Just saying. We got rings. We got rings, my friend. Catch up. Tennessee right side edge all day, says Angel. Oh, all right. Green's been pressured second most of any quarterback in the country, says Jeremiah. Now, I don't know about that. I'm not saying you're wrong. I've not read that, but he is pressured a lot. He is pressured a lot. I think Saturday it's chopped up that the Blackstock gave up by himself. He gave up 5 quarterback hurries. Jaquindon Jackson apparently missed a block. Fernando Carmona, we know that play that got blown up that resulted in a fumble. I really think that was just a great play by the defense, but they're going to get Carmona on that for the hurry and the hit. And PFF says 2 sacks, but, I mean, we know this is a little bit different here. But sometimes it looks a lot worse when you're watching it live and then you see it after the fact and you rewatch and you start to dive into some of the numbers. You rewatch the game and you realize there is definitely something going on. And I do wonder if it's Taylen Green not communicating to the defense or to the offensive line, if that is the issue. Let's take a look at the poll. Biggest Arkansas on the field problem currently. Right now, pass pro is leading. It is 77% on the offensive line, according to the poll. 17% quarterback play. Tight end's not involved at 5%. I am shocked nobody has picked lack of pass rush. I am shocked by that. Yeah, they improved against A&M, but guys, this is one of the worst pass rushes. This is one of the worst pass rushing defenses. I am shocked that no one has picked that yet. Arkansas Festa says still ain't figured out 4 quarters to a game. This goes back to last year. This goes back to last year. Megan Trembling. Oh, Megan Trembling. It's the other Megan. She says, Taylen Green is trash. I think it's safe to say that he is struggling. He was, if you look at your third down numbers, you're still one of the top third down offenses in college football, and that's because of Taylen Green. That's because of Taylen Green on third and long. However, it is missing throws. It's running for your life, though, also matters, right? Blackstock is not a tackle. His footwork and mental acuity is too slow. Says you can't handle the truth. I don't know if you guys listened to Chuck and Bo show this morning. I didn't get a chance to listen to all of it, but some of the callers, wow. I did debate doing a call-in show tonight, but, I'm unable to stream on ASN on Facebook if I do that. And that's kind of the deal I have worked out with them, is to stream or to provide them with content on their Facebook, whether that be downloaded shows, which we could have done tonight, which are your call-in shows, or when we have guests on. We may do something like that. If I can line up a guest for Wednesday, I didn't reach out to anybody, but I'm going to try and bring somebody on for Wednesday. If not, again, you know how this works. We'll be back on Thursday. Arkansas basketball, let's go there really fast. If you guys didn't catch this, Lone Star Showdown, Saturday, November 9th at the American Airlines Center in Dallas. Golly, man. Oh, my gosh. You've got to be excited for basketball, especially now. Moving on to basketball, right? Here's what the U of A said about it. There's quite a bit here, but I won't read all of it. The first weekend of the 24-25 college basketball season will have a premier matchup as Arkansas and Baylor will square off November 9th in Dallas, American Airlines Center, home of the Mavericks and Stars. Tip-off is set for 6:30, and the contest will be broadcast on ESPNU. The game between Arkansas, who's ranked number 14 in the ESPN early preseason poll, and Baylor, predicted number 6, will honor the nation's military in conjunction with Veterans Day, celebrated on November 11th. As a bonus, both fan bases will not have to worry about having to choose between supporting either basketball or football programs that weekend, as the Razorbacks and Bears football programs will have an open date on November 9th. Tickets for the game go public on October 3rd, which is Thursday, 10 a.m. on Ticketmaster and the Ticketmaster app. For additional information, follow BDG Sports on social media, blah, 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 blah. Let's see. This is the part I did not read. For the fans of college basketball, it will be great to see two teams that will likely start the season among the top 25 playing each other so early in the season. Razorback head coach John Calipari said, as a program, wait, this sentence doesn't make sense. As a program, are excited to be playing in Dallas. I guess someone forgot the we are, I guess. The Metroplex is home to a larger number of alumni and current students from the University of Arkansas. We like the fact that we will be able to connect with them and believe we will have tremendous turnout. They kind of go on about some of the previous matchups between Arkansas and Baylor. Arkansas and Baylor have met 145 previous occasions, and the Razorbacks lead the series all time. I knew it was lopsided. I didn't realize it was this lopsided. 96-49, 96 dubs and 49 L's. Baylor is one of the 6 teams the Razorbacks have faced at least 100 times in its history, joining Texas A&M at 169, Texas at 155, SMU at 155, Rice at 144, TCU at 143. The last time the programs met was January 28th for the SEC Big 12 Challenge in Waco, a game then between Baylor, who was number 17, who won the game 67-64, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to read all of this. Overall, Arkansas is 24-13 all-time in Dallas, thanks in part to winning 4 Southwest Conference tournament titles. Yeah, you remember? Arkansas used to do that. Tournament titles in Reunion Arena in 1982, 89, 90, 91. Arkansas is 2-2 in Dallas American Airlines Center, including a win versus Texas Tech in 05, a loss to Bucknell in 06 in the NCAA first round, a win versus Baylor 85-78 on January 5th, 2008, a loss to Texas A&M 71-62 in overtime on December 18th, 2010. So they're 500 in that arena, and they're looking to break that. That'll be fun. That'll be a lot of fun. What? Rest in peace, Pete Rose. Really? Dude, I'm telling you, every time we go live, you already had Mutombo pass away today. Tell me that's... Oh, man. Appreciate all the retweets, by the way, John Hawes and Kerper. I see you guys. Is that real? I don't know who the drift is, but I really do appreciate the retweet. Explore. Yeah. Pete Rose's death. Very sad news. Oh, this happened right as I went live. Icon Pete. I mean, how long have we been live? This went up at 14 minutes. Okay, we've been up for 21 minutes. Sad news. Major League Baseball icon Pete Rose has reportedly passed away. Pete was 83 years old, one of the greatest athletes of all time. That's from not the MLB, but TMZ reporting Pete Rose has passed away. I'll be damned. Oh boy, Hall of Fame conversation's going to get crazy. I'm not going to comment on that, but I'll tell you this much. Every old timer I've ever talked to about the greatest players in their lifetime, they always bring up Pete Rose. They always bring up Pete Rose. That's crazy. Okay. Why am I being pinged in Discord? What'd we do? Oh, you guys pinging me about... Okay. Normally it's like a Ty, you've got a problem. Something's going on. Hog Pat tell me I didn't give him his XP. Boy, y'all are all over that. I tell you, I will thank you for bringing it up. I will correct that. We had a okay, so we're gonna have to move right in to Dakota Terrell. Dakota Terrell, tight end, 6'7", 215, part of the 2025 class. He's from, I think it's pronounced Pecola, Oklahoma. Again, he's part of the 25 class with pretty decent offers. His recruiting lately has blown up, including offers from Oregon State, Kansas, Boston College, all within just this year. And then Ole Miss offered him. Arkansas offered him back in February. Might have been, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was back in February. Someone's tagging me saying he committed to Missouri. That came out of nowhere. Let me, if that's true. I think it is. I'll be damned. I'll be damned. All right. He has committed. So there you go. He committed to Missouri. Arkansas was rumored to be between Ole Miss and Arkansas. And when did Mizzou offer this cat? Did they just swoop in and give him an offer? Because I don't remember hearing about them offering him. Must have been a over the weekend deal. He has committed to Missouri. Huh. Well, there you go. There you go. I had only heard about him after Arkansas had offered him, and I kind of just had written him off. Hadn't really thought of him much. Not written him off like he's a bad player. He's a good player. Watch his film. He's tall, lanky, 6'7", 215. They line him up outside. They'll line him out in the boundary. I've seen him in the slot, it looked like. I caught his some other footage that was – you could watch his huddle footage if you want to watch a Mizzou player play. But he also plays on the defensive side of the ball. Well, I'll be damned. There you go. Arkansas just needs depth, and our NIL ain't sounding good. John, I can't read that on air, my friend. You should know better. Well, there you go. Arkansas was on that kid. I know that much. That was someone they did want. All right. Rashard Dominion is back. Sam says he is back. Now, I don't know if that means his availability is 100%. I'm not really sure how important it is to get him back. It is a pretty big deal. I realize the guy's only carried the ball 3 times this year. He wasn't super effective in 2023, but we know what this cat is capable of. It wasn't that long ago when he ran for over 4 yards a carry. It was back in 22. He had 71 carries for 293 yards, and he can catch the ball out of the backfield. And that's something I saw them do with him throughout spring and fall camp. They really like throwing him the ball. So I wonder if that's going to add a little bit different dynamic to the offense. Maybe they're going to screen him up a little bit more. Maybe they're going to run him on some wheels, on some wheel routes. Maybe they're going to use him as a check down, dump off throw. I mean, obviously he's not going to run fade routes downfield, right? He's not going to run the go out of the slot, but he can add a different dynamic to the offense. He had in 22 he had 12 catches for 108 yards and a touchdown, and then 23 he had 14 grabs for 85 yards. And this year he's already got a couple grabs for 14 yards. So I fully expect him. And by the way, he has 6 career touchdowns in 2022. He had 6 total touchdowns. And think about it again. He only had 71 carries and 12 catches. I think he was on, I want to say he was on just right around a couple dozen targets. I could be wrong about that, but I saw that number somewhere in 22. So he was targeted even in that offense. So I think that's going to be the dynamic that he could probably add a little bit. You know, it's going to help with the depth part, but I kind of feel like it's a nice boost. It's good to get that back there, but how quickly Arkansas abandons the run, I don't know how often he's going to get utilized, right? I mean, I really don't. I don't know what to expect out of Dominion being a part of this backfield. I mean, I think he's going to be a part of the passing game. I think they're going to give him the ball a few times. What does this do for Jamarcus Russell? Oh my God. Braylon Russell. What's this going to do for Braylon Russell, who on the year has 16 carries, 62 yards, averaging just right around 4 yards a carry. Jaquindon, I mean, he had 10 carries. Now, he was dealing with some stuff against A&M, but we have seen them move away from running the football, and it's typically, it's because defenses know how to key in on Green. They know what they're doing, right? They know what to do with Green now. The blueprints have been provided, and everyone's just kind of following the same thing, and it's on Bobby Petrino, that offensive line, and Green to make folks pay. But it is good to get Dominion back in that rotation. I have no idea. I'm going to assume he's now going to be running back number 2. Maybe he's going to take the place of Rodney Hill or Braylon Russell, who, again, Sam talked about today, how he has earned the right to more carries. But what does that mean exactly? Again, now that you have Dub back in the lineup. And he is a change of pace compared to those two, Russell and Jackson. I mean, you're talking 5'10", 200 pounds, a little swifty. But that's a big deal to get him back. Let's scroll down here. Boy, Megan Trembling. I'm starting to think Megan Trembling is just some dude who just wants to shit talk. That's who I think Megan Trembling is. I see you around. I don't know. It's very burner-like material. It's very burner-like comments. I mean, hey, whatever. That's your game. Okay, cool, I guess. I don't know that I would say Dominion is trash. He didn't have a very good season last year. We'll see if he can bounce back. Hog Fan 40 ounce says, I'm happy to hear that he's back. He stayed positive on social media. Johnny Jones says the word was the reason why he was suspended, because he stood up to Pittman about promised playing time at Auburn at half, because we know he didn't do that to Petrino. Pittman, a nice guy, but here we go with one. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. I am John Neighbors burner. All right, well, okay. Oh. Not true. The Hogs upset fans every week. Uh-oh. Kerper says Pete and Bonds both belong in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole right now. John Haas says it's on Bobby to not have to have Taylen throw the ball 40 times a game. Well, again, A&M certainly had something to do with that. A&M certainly was able to slow down the attack. You also didn't have Jaquindon Jackson completely available. But yes, Pittman needs to leave Bobby's offense alone and stop giving him ideas. Okay. Let's get into this. Let's get into Taylen Green. While we're on the subject, by the way, take the poll if you haven't already. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Shout out to the sponsors. Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. Same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes, better than best results. 501-244-3667. Again, that's Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. They got your back. They operate out of Little Rock or Central Arkansas in Northwest Arkansas. Also, Insurance Max, offering business, personal life, and health insurance, retirement, shopping the best rates for you, corner to corner of our fine state here in Arkansas. Check out those links. See if they can maybe save you some money or give you better service. Check them out. Those links are provided for you down below. Taylen Green, Sam Pittman said earlier today to the media, unfortunately I couldn't be there for today's. Couldn't be in on the Zoom call, but I had to, my daughters had dentist appointments. So I was unable to catch it all. I've been trying to read the transcript and trying to watch what I can of the video, but I know that Sam did say that his quarterback has a confidence issue. His quarterback has a confidence issue. And it doesn't feel like it's that hard to figure out why. Taylen Green against Texas A&M goes 23 of 41 for 279 with a touchdown and an interception. According to ESPN, that's a QBR of 59 flat. They completely they stopped him. There's no containing. They stopped the Arkansas run game. Arkansas ran the ball 11 times fewer than they threw it. Again, I think A&M had something to do with that. The offensive line, there was definitely some issues there. And again, we don't know if how much of this is Taylen Green. Maybe he's a little lost in terms of sliding protection and then identifying pre-snap things that the defense is doing. Arkansas ran the ball 30 times for 100 yards. Taylen Green, 13 carries for just 6 yards. I would not have guessed that. Even with Texas A&M having the studs up front. But you know why he's got a confidence issue. I mean, he's running for his damn life. Whether it's the offensive line's fault or his, whatever the case may be. And I'm going to argue that Blackstock up front, I don't like calling out individual players necessarily to tear them down, but I'm going to tell you Blackstock has not played super great. Braun at times has looked atrocious. Fernando Carmona on the left, I think, has done mostly a pretty good job. I kind of wonder when the dust settles, kind of what our takes are on him as the season, goes by. He's not had a fantastic season so far, but it seems to be okay. But he's running for his life. He is missing open throws. The offense it didn't feel like any part of the game plan outside of the scripted plays, which I still think they're running. I think they're running scripted, and that's why the offense that's why you scored 14 points in the opening quarter. It feels that way to me. And then once the defense figures out what you're doing and you're no longer in your scripted offense, A&M, they're pinning their ears back. They know exactly what to do. They know what the game plan is. And again, this was a game that felt like Pittman was outcoached. I absolutely believe that was the case. I think he got outcoached. I don't think that's a crazy take at all. 3 points in the second half. Once again, you come out in the second half and just, you're turning the ball over 3 times to 0. You lost the turnover. You lost the battle by 3 on the turnover battle. 3-0. The penalties, 10 flags for 75 yards. Now, A&M wasn't much better, 7 for 63, but you combine that with the 3 turnovers, no wonder. The offense isn't flowing, and Green's feeling it. Green's feeling it. There's no doubt about that. I think he figured he'd be a lot better. I think he figured that with Petrino as his guy, with his coordinator, and considering the weapons they had back, the continuity, the how in sync him and the receivers looked through spring and fall camp for the most part, I think he's feeling it now. That like the SEC just smacked him in the face. I think they also felt like we should have won this game. Again, it's another scenario where you can't get out of your own damn way. He's feeling it, man. You outgained them by almost 100 yards. You've outgained your opponent in every game but one. You've outgained your opponent, and yes, there is a legit argument to make that Arkansas could be 5-0. Now, how do we get his confidence up? Now, again, it's easy to sit here and say, well, you should have ran the ball more. Should have run more design runs to Green. That is easy to say. However, Texas A&M is not a Big 12 defense. Texas A&M is one of the most – they've got talent, guys. It's not quite coming out their ears like Georgia and Bama and Ohio State, but they've got talent. That's a top 8, top 10 roster in terms of star power. All they had to do was out-talent you, and that's what they've done in a lot of these games. Also, the balls just bounced their way. Arkansas's had these bonehead mistakes and plays. You go all the way back to the shortly after Petrino was fired, and your backs were against the wall, and you lost that game, and you just go on this losing streak. Finally, you get a win, and then A&M closes this thing out. KJ, of course, with the infamous fumble, trying to reach out and score, and it just felt like everything fell to shambles after that. Not just that game, by the way, but one thing after another. And I really think these guys. I don't think this. I know this deep down in my heart. They wanted to win this damn game, and I think it's of course it's affected. It's probably not just his confidence. It's probably a lot of these guys. However, hold your heads up high, right? This is a ranked opponent. On paper, no, they shouldn't have won this game. On paper, no, they shouldn't have beaten Oklahoma State. That is true, and that's a fair argument to make. Deja vu. All over again, Arkansas finding ways, sticking their heads right up their asses. Coaching staff just ill-prepared. No response, no ability to respond to what A&M was doing on defense. The defense played great. Their game plan was fine. Right? You basically gifted them 7 of their 21 points. Well, hell, you can argue you gave them a lot with the 3 turnovers and the 10 penalties. Moss, 13 carries, 117 yards. This run defense of Arkansas, I still think has been pretty good. I think A&M could have done a lot more damage on the ground. And I think as the season progresses, assuming they stay healthy, they're going to run the ball on some folks. They ran the ball 38 times for 134 yards. But again, the mistakes, it's deja vu. It's right here in your face all over again. And it's just gotten to the point where this is where that apathy sets in. It's like we've seen this play out so many times, not even just in the Pittman era. Even the crappy Chad Morris era, the Bielema era, John L. Smith's single year. We've seen this play out so much, and it's so disappointing. It's nice that you're in the game, yes, for those of you who love those moral victories. Oh, thank God we didn't lose by 30. Thank God. No, but you still turn the ball over 3 times. Too many penalties. Offense stalls. Offense can't get out of its own way. And it is, I don't care what you say. At the end of the day, the coach has to bear responsibility. You can't have this record in these close games and not say that this isn't a reflection of Sam Pittman, who, by the way, Arkansas is 6-16 under Sam in one score games. It doesn't get much better going back to 2013. Arkansas is 16-42. Deja vu, baby. I don't know what the answer is. You can say better talent out of the portal. I don't know. I feel like they're pretty well. I think they're pretty well. They're in pretty good shape on defense. I think they have, despite the injuries, no Hudson Clark and Braxton. I'm telling you guys, that is such a. And by the way, we don't know what's up with Braxton. We weren't even given a. He might be available. It might be questionable. We don't know. Like, it was just basically like he doesn't feel good about Braxton's situation. I don't know exactly. I should probably pull the quote up here, what exactly he said, but didn't exactly make you feel better about his situation. Hudson Clark, you feel a little bit better. That's your communicator on the back end of your defense. That's the guy that started the season out pretty strong. What little time we got to see him, right? Ole Miss lost to Kentucky, so we can't beat Tennessee at home, ? Well, we're going to get to that later on in the week. We'll talk about that on Thursday. We'll get into the Tennessee stuff. Again, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. I'm fighting up against – listen, YouTube's kicking my ass with notifications. I got a number of you messaging me that none of you got notifications. And again, it's out of my hands. I apologize on behalf of YouTube. They will not push this content. I don't know what else to say. It is what it is. Maybe I'm not doing the exact things that they want, and therefore they're just not going to push the content. I've talked about it. I've been told not to talk about it, which is bizarre, considering this is quite literally what I do. This is what I do. Of course I'm going to talk about it. It's why I ask you guys to like and share the content, right? Again, don't forget to take the poll. Biggest Arkansas on the field problem currently, and it is overwhelmingly offensive line. Not even close. 73% of you are saying it's on the O-line on pass protection. 20% of you are saying quarterback play. 3% of you saying tight ends not involved more. And then 4% just jumped up. 4% of you are now saying lack of a pass rush. Pass rush would certainly help. Would have helped you. Imagine what that could have done for you against Oklahoma State if you had played as good as you did against A&M in terms of your ability to at least make the quarterback uncomfortable. I thought Arkansas did a pretty decent job, the best that we've seen so far versus a decent opponent. I guess kudos is done for the season. We don't know, man. Ty heard there's an opening at right tackle. Here's your shot. Oh, man. It doesn't matter how bad SEC team plays. They seem to have our number. Everybody seems to have Arkansas's number, right? Feels that way. You've got losing records against so many teams in this conference, guys, and other teams are closing the gap. It's where Arkansas has slid these last 10 years is just unbelievable. Jeremy Gray, Ty, do you think Pittman may be interfering with the quarterback situation? I just cannot imagine Petrino, if he were the head coach, not giving Malachi more of a look or playing both. We know Green was Petrino's guy. We know Green was Petrino's guy. We know that. I said this Saturday when we were doing the call-in in the post-game show, I said I think one of the biggest mistakes was that Malachi, as far as I saw, and I think I only missed 1 or maybe 2 days of spring camp. I was there. Never saw Malachi get an opportunity with the ones. And I hope that doesn't come back to bite them in the ass. I've said that. I said that on Saturday. I'd said it before. Malachi, it was just so clear. And yeah, I did say that Green clearly looked like the better guy because he did. However, Malachi ran with the twos. We know we had a rotating door of different receivers flowing from the threes to the twos. And meanwhile, with the ones, yeah, that was still there a little bit. But, he was able to build a relationship, Green was. He was able to get in sync, find his timing with those receivers, with guys like Tislaw, Armstrong, Centennia. I wonder what it would look like if we had more of a battle. Now, the good thing is whoever's playing quarterback, you do have someone like Armstrong to throw to, who such a vastly underrated receiver in this league. It's crazy he doesn't get more love. But I've been on the Armstrong train for a minute. Pretty proud of that. Been a pretty big fan of that since last year. I didn't call it when they brought him here. I certainly didn't call it when they brought him here, but you could see it kind of transpire through camp. Man, this guy might actually be pretty good. And then you see it in action a little bit last year, and now this year he's off to such a great start. Again, him and the Metcalfs, very, very bright future for the Metcalfs. But I don't know what. I get that your QB1 is your QB1. You want him to take as many snaps with his group as humanly possible. But it just never felt to me like there was any battle. And again, yeah, Green still looked better to me. Malachi did have a streak of throwing interceptions during fall camp, coming out in that second scrimmage and then coming out of that second scrimmage that week where he threw multiple picks. Had a rough week. He didn't look sharp. But he bounced back. And then by the time we're watching him actually throw a good ball, look a little bit more comfortable, look fine rolling out of the pocket, look confident, well, then the media, they cut us off. They said, nope, can't come back. Curtis Tay says, let's just run Sam Pittman out of town. Greg Roberts, I liked and shared your show today. I appreciate you, Greg. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. Ty is more of a fullback. No, bro. In high school, I wanted to play fullback. I jumped at every opportunity when scout fullback was open. When no one else would want to do it, I wanted to be in there. All 6'3", 6'2", 6'3", 275 pounds of me. I wanted to play fullback. I wasn't fast enough. Too fat. I don't know if Sam is interfering. I don't know. I don't think so. God only knows, right? I tell you guys all the time, give it a few years, and you'll start to see these players show up on podcasts because it's now the thing. Former players talking, going on all these podcasts. Someone will tell us what's going on, just like with the Poop Hall stuff last year. More of that will come to light, I'm sure. But it's and by the way, Poop Hall killing it at Ole Miss. But I don't know how he graded out yesterday. I didn't look. He's killing it. Got some former Razorback players at UNLV that are killing it. But it's just so hard for me to imagine that Pittman is getting in the way of that. But I could be wrong. I don't know. Tide has to drive Petrino crazy after 5 games and film study, watching receivers running wide open. Tight ends, you could see at times they're running wide open, and Green is not targeting these guys. It's something that we've talked about often. It really is. Something we've talked about often. Just check over on Facebook. Again, if you guys over on ASN Facebook have any questions or comments, feel free. Don't be shy. Feel free to speak. All you people saying fire coach, get ready for 3 more years of losing at least. All right. Here's the problem I have with that, Steve-O. You're letting the Chad Morris effect, that is PTSD. If you believe that Arkansas can't do any better, and maybe you're right. I'm not saying you're right or wrong. But if you believe that, then you've got a coach holding you hostage because of something, some proven cat that coached 3 years at SMU, had 1 decent season. You're letting that hold you back from maybe going out and looking for another option. And I think that's silly. You can't hold on to a coach forever in fear of what might happen. You roll the dice every single time you make a hire. No matter the sport. I don't think Hunter Yurachek knew that Muss would be as good as he was. I don't think he did. I don't think he had any clue. I think he liked his background, knew that he could recruit, knew that with the NBA experience and all the years coaching and the coaching pedigree that he's from, but I don't think he expected Muss to do what he did. And he killed that hire. He really did. He did a good job on that hire. I've got people in Discord. Hog Blitz is someone who tells us every day, Hunter Yurachek scares the hell out of me about hiring. If you recall, again, Chad was not his hire. Chad Morris was not his hire. But the hole was dug so deep for Razorback football. The fear was immense that how bad things got under Chad. And when he went and he hired Sam Pittman, this unproven head coach, he was never a head coach. He certainly had 30 years of experience coaching at big-time jobs. And he was a former assistant head coach at 3 different jobs, Arkansas, North Carolina, and Georgia, right? Was he not an assistant head coach there too? He had kind of the pedigree to an extent. There was a lot of hesitation, and I said he's going to be an in-between hire. Talk to Cricks in Discord. Him and I talked about it constantly, and I thought there for a while, damn, I think I might have been wrong. What does he do as year one? He does in year one what you hadn't done in the previous 3 years. He won 3 conference games. Should have been 4. And then what did he do the next year? Pretty impressive, right? Year after that, he makes another bowl game. He's 2-0 in bowl games. I'm right there with you guys, and I'm not trying to make some case that Sam should never be fired either. I'm not trying to make that case. I'm telling you that Hunter Yurachek, sure, Cal fell in his lap. I will, from what I understand, I think that was probably true. I think he facilitated it to some degree, but whatever. I guess we should believe what they tell us, but you just can't let one coach from SMU prevent you from moving forward. If this year falls apart and you go 4-8, 5-7, you have to walk away from Sam Pittman. There's no doubt about it. You have to. There is not a lot of excitement around this football program right now. There's not any. Now, and I also agree, you could end up in a worse situation. You could. Again, you roll the dice with every hire, but man, keeping Sam around, there's no guarantees in any of this, guys. Whether you fire him or keep him, there's no guarantees. You just have to roll the dice. And hope that there's someone out there you feel a lot more confident. Like maybe that dice, maybe, you know, I was going to say maybe they're loaded, but that's cheating. Ty Hogblitz is me. Laugh out loud. Okay, Jeremy Gray, you are Hogblitz. All right. I know you want Pittman gone yesterday, and I'm not telling you. I've been you guys. Some of you remember what I said a year ago about Pittman, about keeping him, and the ramifications from keeping him. The NIL is not going to get stronger overnight, and it hasn't apparently. There's still a lot of issues with this team, and it's copy and paste from last year. 100%. I just don't think you fire him right now. I think that's silly. Now, Mississippi State, depending on what happens between Tennessee, LSU, and going into that Mississippi State game, that game could have a lot riding on it for Sam's future. Absolutely. Angel says Tennessee, a blowout would be pretty significant. I'm not sure what do you mean? Are you saying it wouldn't help Sam's case? Is that the argument? I mean, it would, but it'd also be expected, right? Tennessee is clearly a playoff team right now. We'll see if that changes. Is Sam's energy, body language, and press conference starting to annoy you? Well, I don't know about annoy me. It's the same win or lose. Kids play hard. We got a real good football team. I think that's just all coach speak, and it just is what it is. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't make me mad, no. We thought Tennessee would be as good as they are with Heupel. Yeah. Well, he's living up to it, isn't he? And Lane Kiffin, I still think they're going to be fine this year. That Kentucky game. But I mean, for real, who would you rather have between Heupel and Pittman? Clearly, I think everyone here would say Heupel. How many of you would pick Kiffin over Pittman? I think everyone in here would pick Kiffin. Although bullshit that we saw on Saturday where Jackson Dart is instructing his running back to fall so they don't have to burn a timeout. God, that Bobby Petrino is not Himothy. Again, it's deja vu with this football team. Nothing has changed. And that is what is so frustrating. That is so incredibly frustrating. And again, 6-16 in one-score games. And at some point, for the few people, I don't know if they're in here or not. One of them's in Discord. I've got another one telling me in DMs that firing Sam would be a huge mistake. You have to explain to me year five. It's more of the same. Nothing has changed. And oh, by the way, the position group that he coached for 25 years plus is struggling as bad as they are. Again, I don't think they get all the blame. I don't think they deserve all the blame. But there are certainly some problems on that offensive line. He even said it today. We're not going to make any personnel changes. Why? Why, chat? I don't know. Some fat bearded guy on YouTube probably called it. He said they don't have anybody else. The only other option, of course, Kunis is injured, and someone brought this up. I think it was Hog Blitz again in my DMs talking about, well, I'd like to see Crawford at right tackle. Here's the problem. We saw Crawford last year. He struggled mightily. I think he's only played like 5 snaps. That could be wrong. I need to go back and look at his snap count. But they don't have any answers. They don't have it. Again, the guy that coached offensive line, he was known as the guru, the sweet talker to offensive linemen. You're not bringing in the 4- and 5-star offensive linemen left and right. You're not attracting the top talent. Carmona was pretty highly sought after, but you're not landing the top talent left and right. This is what Sam was known for. Well, what if they struggle? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're struggling, Ty, because he's Sam Pittman. He's the offensive line coach. He's the Elvis Presley, if you will, of offensive line coaches. You've had one really good, maybe 2 really good years of offensive line play, and it's just been all over the place since 22. Explain this to me. If you are a defender, and some of you know who you are, you DM me, you're pretty vocal in Discord, why are things as bad as they are up front on the offensive line? Why do they not have more options? Where's the depth along the line of scrimmage? This is the last place I thought year 5 we'd be talking about having problems. If you would have told me this 5 years ago, Sam kept his job for year 5 without telling me anything else, without telling me what happened in 23 or 22, 23, and telling me that, oh, yeah, your depth along the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball is highly suspect, I would have called you a liar. How did he survive 5 years? If you can't play along the line of scrimmage in the SEC, what the what's he doing? Here we are. So, again, and before you say, well, he doesn't coach the offensive line, that's funny. Mateos is his boy. Mateos, I'm sorry. I get corrected on that all the time. I don't care. But that's his boy. Remember, he was the highest paid GA through spring camp, fall camp. He was down there with them. And again, I can't tell you guys how badly I want him to work out. I do like Sam. I don't care what popular opinion is. I was told, oh, you just want him fired. No, I want him to work out. I like Sam. Damn, how cool would it be to sit down with that guy and crack open an old cold beer? It'd be pretty damn cool, I think. But I know people are tired of the rhetoric. They're tired of the all G-shucks talk from Sam and all that. I get it. It weighs on you, especially when you're losing. When you're winning, you don't care. When you're winning, you don't give a damn. Now that you're losing, certain things stand out, and I get it. We're tired of the all G-shucks, but that's who he is. That's who he is. I've you know. Ty came in late. Do you think we are going to a rush heavy offense? Yeah, and you asked me that a number of times, Jeremy. He says they are. We'll see if they do it. They got to be healthy. Now you got Dubinion back. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, I want them to. I think should be your identity is you should be a run first team, but I just don't think the offensive line can carry that load. I really don't. Even with the dynamic backfield, I think Arkansas has, and with a quarterback like Green, I'm not sure they can do it week in and week out in the SEC. I remember you saying preseason. This is from Pigpen. I wish I could put this on the screen. I remember you saying preseason we may still have a problem on the O-line. I didn't want to believe you. Thank you for your honesty, Pigpen. It's rare that anybody will say, you were right, Ty. I'll get called out for being wrong all the damn time, but no one gets me when I'm right. No one wants to call me out when I'm right. They don't want to give me the props. That's okay. But it's on both sides of the ball. I still think the interior defensive line has some depth issues. But they have mostly – like there are some bright spots on the defense. Don't get me wrong. I really think that the starting four against the run have been pretty solid so far. Chevelle 615. Oh, we got a Vol fan in here. We're not even talking about the Vols yet. That's Thursday. Be here Thursday. Tell your friends to come on in. Tell your Vol friends to come on in. Nelly Davis for 3 says, I can't wait till Sam is gone, honestly. I would like for the deja vu feeling to go away. Guys, I'm not going to stick to a win. I'm not going to tell you what I think my win-loss record is, but you could, whatever you think it is, you're probably right. Okay? The deja vu, it's not gone away. It's more of the same, and it doesn't seem to matter who the play caller is. It doesn't seem to matter who's playing up front of the offensive line. It doesn't seem to matter who's taking snaps out of shotgun. It doesn't seem to matter who's running the ball. It doesn't seem to matter what's going on defense. It's more of the same. And this year it's more – I think they're ahead of turnovers compared to where they were at a year ago at this time. Fans are tired of the deja vu. Curtis Johnson. Don't make me do it, Curtis. Don't make me do it. Is Curtis giving us are we someone in chat knows what I'm talking about. Steve-O says they're going to replace Sam and we will have the same conversation in 5 years. So you just stick with Sam forever then? Is that what you do? Is that the option? You just no, because of what happened with Chad Morris, no changes are allowed. Because Brett Bielema drastically underdelivered compared to what he did at Wisconsin? Nah, we're never going to be any different. We should never make any changes. I don't understand that. How long do you give him? What is the maximum amount of time that you give the guy? Again, I'm not calling for him to be fired right now. I will tell you, thought about having a picture that was a picture of a chair and some matches. I was trying to get AI to do it for him with some matches around the chair and a fire starting to be lit. I think his seat's starting to warm up again, guys. I mean, it's already warm. He slips up too much, he's going to be gone. I don't know how long you give the guy. Who you gonna get? Ty, all the practices you attended in spring were very informative. You have been dead on with some of the deficiencies. Well, I appreciate that. I feel like that was you going, all right, Ty. Appreciate it, though. I think you're being sincere. It's a no-win situation, I guess. We should never make any changes. That's silly. Listen, if you get to 6 wins and you can make a decent enough case to keep him, if you can, if you're able to, I don't know, bring all the things that are positive back to 2025 from 2024, that's a different conversation. Regardless, he's gone, but I really don't know who will replace him because we always pull in guys nobody ever expects. I don't know that you're going to go out and get a Bobby Petrino type hire. I don't know if there's anyone out there like that. But I can remember getting Bielema and that being unbelievable. Just like, how the hell did Arkansas pull a successful head coach from a Big Ten job that was considered one of the top Big Ten jobs? Like, how did they do that, considering what had happened under Petrino and what happened the previous season under John L? I mean, it was impressive. It just didn't work out. Hey, Ty, what you think about Kurt Cignetti? Okay, that's an interesting name. That is a very interesting name. I'm just going to tell you guys, I had considered pulling back up the Who You Gonna Get Patreon page. It may come up here soon. If Arkansas gets blown out to Tennessee, if you go into Mississippi State with a losing streak, we might have to pull that up, and that is certainly a name that I am very interested in. I've heard Chadwell. I know some people were all against Rhett Lashley, and I've said, let's just hold on. Let's pump the brakes. By the way, let me be clear about Rhett Lashley really quick. Let me be crystal clear about Rhett Lashley. First off, if they do fire Sam, whenever they do it, okay, whether it's December, by that point nowadays it's too late. If you wait till December, man, you're already behind the ball. But Rhett will get a phone call. And I have talked with one person who is knows what's going on in the Springdale community. People, he's still Rhett Lashley. And I don't know if I'm not saying that this is Rhett's family saying this. I'm not saying that at all. But we do know that his people are still in the area. We know his ties to the area. And from what I understand, that he would be open to the idea of a phone call. It's not to say that he'd be open to the job. Not saying that he might be open to the idea of a phone call. I don't know how accurate that is. I do trust this individual. This could also be wishful thinking on his part, because I'll be honest, I think he's a little biased towards Rhett a little bit. Could just be wishful thinking. But I say bias. I mean, he likes Rhett and what he's done at SMU. I do think that is a realistic possibility. And yeah, I have liked what he's done at SMU. I liked what he did as a coordinator. First off, what are the odds that he's talking to anybody about the Arkansas job? I would argue pretty slim. What are the odds he's talking to family members or friends back in Arkansas, right? I'd probably pretty slim. But still, yeah, if that is true, they're going to give him a call. Now, is he my very first number one option? I think off and on I've thought about it. Even before the season started, I moved him down on my list. I think he would make my list, especially if you swing and miss on whoever your home run is. I don't know that Rhett would be your very, very first, right? I don't know that that's necessarily Hunter Yurchek's first call. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe there's already been a dialogue for all we know. But I like Rhett, but I'm not saying 100% he's my guy. Not saying that at all. I have posted his recruiting numbers, portal numbers, what he's done as a head coach. His only loss on the year is to a really good, and I said this in a Discord live, BYU's good. And they gave BYU a hell of a game. That was a really good game. And since then, BYU's undefeated, and they're looking pretty damn good. They look damn near like a playoff team. So, yeah, I like him, but I'm not saying he's my number one guy. Some of the names that have been thrown out there I like a lot. And again, we'll put together, if this continues, if the ball continues to, if this thing really does, if this is a snowball effect and we're about to lose a whole bunch of games in a row, and I feel like that's going to happen, and let's say something bad happens against Tennessee, and again, we'll talk about that on Thursday night, then yeah, that list is going to go up. We're going to pull the Who You Going to Get Patreon Discord page will go back up. Absolutely. And there are some names. And John brought up a name that it'd be interesting if you could get that guy, considering how long he's been at his current job. Yeah. Hey, Ty, I'm here to support my Hogs, but it's a dark spiral we may be heading towards. I think you're probably right. I think the evidence is overwhelming that looks like where they're headed. Appreciate all the retweets on Twitter, by the way. Jamie Chadwell Chadwell has Taiwan Porter says fans are so tired of the mediocrity. Man, it's the deja vu. It's the title of this very live show. It's the title on my thumbnail. It's deja vu, man. I think fans are absolutely sick of it. I said it last week, but I know we are going to lose. It's just going to happen even though I did say 10 wins. Damn, I hate being a Hawk fan sometimes. It just hurts. I don't know. I guess so. Apathy just sets in. Biggest Arkansas on the field problem currently, 71% say offensive line. Quarterback play, 23%. Tight ends not involved at 2%. Lack of a pass rush at 4%. Give you guys just another minute or two there to answer that poll. Tennessee's offense is okay. If our defense can play well, they can keep us in it. If the offense do their job, but kind of unlikely we can. Yeah. Go get Gruden. Yeah. All right, we'll go ahead and put an end to the poll here. We'll put an end to it. Now, there we go. All right. Offensive line gets the majority of the it dropped down from 70%. It was steady in the 70s. It dropped down to 69%. Quarterback play at 23%. I think it is fair to say D all the above. I think that's perfectly fair, but I wanted to get all four of those on a poll and just see where you guys were at with it. But I do think D all the above would be a good good call. I agree. Depending upon an outcome, where'd it go? Depending upon the outcome of the Tenor game, the locker room could be in jeopardy. I did see where Courtney Mims, I don't know if you guys saw that tweet. I'm going to try and pull it up here. She had tweeted about something that was going on the sidelines. Well, yeah, here it is. They just said on the broadcast that Andrew Armstrong called out the offensive line for the poor protection and that he and Keyshawn Blackstock got into it a bit before Taylen Green broke it up. I need to reach out to her, bring her on Wednesday and get her take on this. But listen, it's awesome that Green, man, you just can't hate. You cannot hate on that kid. I like Taylen Green so much. I mean, I really do. He just seems like such a good teammate. You know, I mean, all the stuff he was doing with his offensive line before the season, and now he's breaking up fights on the sidelines. Like he sounds like a leader. And maybe Malachi is that too, and I'm not suggesting that he should keep starting because he's the leader or whatever, and he's doing these things, but you like to hear that your quarterback is breaking this up. But to speak to the locker room issue, you've already got guys on the sidelines getting into it. Now, that sort of stuff happens, and it's more common than you would think. But, yeah, you're not wrong. You are at risk when these losses start to pile on, it can get nasty. Blackstock needs to play some ball before he gets too mouthy. Well, Blackstock should be playing guard, not tackle. Arky56, yeah, we already talked about that, Dad. Pete Rose passed away. He's your favorite non-Cardinal, right? I seem to remember you telling me that. He's playing out of position. And hearing Sam Pittman say no changes will be made just makes me shake my head. Well, again, it speaks to what I said earlier, and I think you just hopped in, but they don't have any options on the offensive line. And I don't think they feel very confident that Tykees Crawford can just get plugged in over at the right tackle spot. They're already down Kudas. I mean, Brim, I said this back spring and fall camp, especially in fall camp. I did not like what was going on the offensive line. I felt like they were thin. They were not 7 deep, 8 deep like we kind of thought they might be. They just don't have the pieces. They don't have the bodies. And again, that's a reflection of Sam Pittman. I mean, I think it is. Who else do you point at here? Who's the head coach? Whose background is with the offensive line? How does this not fall on Sam Pittman? Yeah, Mutombo passed away too. That was sad, man. That's really sad. So there's still a lot of questions. I don't know that they get summed up. I don't know that they answer any of them throughout the season. I don't know. The good thing is they're still good with this team, and I know we've just spent quite a bit of time talking about the bad. And yeah, they are a game above 500. They are 3-2. That's fair. They went on the road to Auburn and did something I didn't think they would do. They got a dub, right? They went toe-to-toe with Oklahoma State. That's fair, although Oklahoma State, oh my God, am I about to pat myself on the back one more time, one final time? Can I do it just one more time? I said Oklahoma State looks like an 8-4 Big 12 team. I think that's what they are. They're suspect. But still, Arkansas went on the road and could have won that game. They hand these games away. Imagine if they fix these issues. You've got some playmakers. How about Teslaw with that awesome catch, creating a little bit of separation against a ranked A&M secondary. Well, you know what I mean. Star power, right? They've got some stars in the secondary. They've got some highly talented players on that defense. Teslaw getting a little bit of separation. Maybe we'll start to see Centennial a little bit more on these end arounds. They did it once. Maybe they could tailor this game more to Green's strengths. They keep talking about it. I hope we see it. When the eyebrows start getting raised at Deke Adams. Well, I mean, last year the defensive line wasn't that bad. I mean, they were getting after the quarterback. They were making plays. Jackson had a couple of really nice games. He had one really nice game against Alabama. You know, this is the first year. And to be fair, their run defense has been pretty sound. No one has really obliterated the run defense. And no, it's not because they're throwing all over you. A&M, you outgained A&M by over 100, or right around 100 yards. Ty, if we had lost to Auburn next weekend, we would just have an interim coach named during the bye week. Well, I don't know about that. I really think this is all, and I feel like we said this at the beginning of the year, it all feels like it could come down to the Mississippi State game. I mean, college football is dead. These kids need multiple years together, and that is the other part of this. This is a 2-year offense. A quarterback needs a couple of years to grow within this offense. Again, please don't take this as me saying you have to bring everybody back, but I do think they would be better if everyone came back. I just don't know how much better. I don't know that the game management, clock management, I don't know that the mistakes go away. And I hate to say this, but it's because of who the head coach is. I don't know that any of that stuff gets solved. It does feel like this is all a reflection of Pittman. I hope he gets it fixed and prove us all wrong. And I do feel like they have the pieces to do that. They just got to get out of their own way. They got to figure out what the hell's going on at quarterback. Because the argument is, do we have a quarterback battle? Or at least that should be the thing that we're talking about. If this continues, if Tennessee chews Green up and spits him out, is he going to play the whole game? And again, it's up against this idea of, well, but Green needs snaps. He needs to get better. Maybe this is all for next year. Hell, you're not going to – it's for Sam, it can't be about next year. For Sam, it's got to be about the here and now. For Sam, it's about surviving to get to next year. And I don't know that I see that path. I don't know that I see it. So you can't mess around. You got to get this right. And if that means eventually you may have to go to Malachi, then that means, by God, you need to go to Malachi. You need to make the switch. Don't know that it would be any better. Don't know. All right. to your offense, we need more studs on O-line and D-line. Greg, I mean, you're in year 5, Greg. You're in year 5. Why are you only really about 6 or 7 deep on the offensive line? Like, even mediocre SEC teams are 2 deep at each spot on the offensive line. It may not be the best 2 deep, but they're at least 2 deep. They feel confident that they could just plug someone else in. They don't feel confident enough to do that. And yeah, that is missing Kudus. I get that. That's hard to overcome. That's one guy. There's a reason why they had Josh Street as a backup at multiple spots on the offensive line. There's a reason for that. They don't have the bodies, and you're in year 5. Wow, we need another year. How many years are you going to give the guy? If you're just talking about just for the offense to be, to get it, to understand it, that's a fair point. If that's what you're saying, that we need everyone back, and I think everybody. Wait, hold on. Isn't everybody but Braun eligible for next year? Or am I getting that wrong? And then maybe you could build some depth if you can get all these guys back. Okay, that's a fair point. But again, for Sam, it's about the here and now. You gotta make the right changes. You gotta make the right moves. Adjustments need to be made. Clock and time management need to get better. You got to figure out what the hell's going on at quarterback. If you're going to stick with Green, then you need to tailor that offense to his strengths, build his confidence, dial up more than just 4 or 5 screens. If pressure is coming at you like that from the front, the way that Sam talked about, then I don't know, man. I think typically the answer is, quick throws, quick routes, quick slants, screen plays, bubble screens, whatever. Find a way to get out of it. And again, to be fair, it just could be that Green is he just doesn't know how to do it yet. And again, that goes right back to the vicious cycle that you're in at the quarterback spot. What do? Do you really sit on your hands and not make any moves, assuming it comes to that? You do like what he can do. He is a double-edged sword. A&M just figured out how to stop him on the run game. They stopped him from running the ball. The first team this year to stop him. If that trend continues, you're gonna have a problem on your hands. You're gonna have an issue if teams figure out how to stop him, because that's been really your go-to. Has been Green's legs, and every once in a while a decent throw if he's not turning it over. Shout out to the sponsors: Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company, same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes, better than best results, free estimates. 501-244-3667. That's the number to call. They operate out of Central and Northwest Arkansas. Insurance Max, offering business, personal, life, and health insurance, retirement. They shop the best rates for you, covering the state corner to corner. Click the link down below. See what they can do for you. Consider joining Patreon. That's been very helpful. Patreon has been fantastic. By the way, today's the last day. Oh, my God, I almost forgot. Today's the last day. You got to get signed up now. If you want a shot at one of these cards for what we're doing this month, for $4, folks, you're going to have a shot at Lloyd Phillips, former Arkansas player right there. That's a sharp. What a handsome young man. Look at that card. It's a pretty awesome card. That's just for the $4, folks. $8. We got our Ryan Mallett, another one of these Chrome cards. Ryan Mallett, again, those aren't autographed. Now, 3 different legendary status members are going to have a shot at either Chris Gregg, again, autographed, former Arkansas player, Chris Gregg. DJ Williams, autographed. That's our second one. And then Treylon Burks, autographed. One of the greatest to ever do it at Arkansas at the wide receiver spot. So today's it, man. Get signed up today. Get a shot at winning one of those cards. It's legendary status for one of those autographed cards. That is what is up right there. Ty opening up the sports cards vault again. I got a number of them. It pays to have more than 2 different reliable places to get your cards and individuals. Bot Magnet says, I want the Burks. If you're legendary status, man, you'll have a shot at it. So do we blame NIL or do we blame the coaches? Somebody needs to blame. Again, it kind of goes. It speaks to that all the above stuff, right? And has NIL always been a problem here? I mean, since it became a thing, right? Since it became legal. Mike and them says O-line guru Sam Pittman with 5 years has bad O-line play and no O-line depth. Right there it is. Right there it is. Mike nailed it. David Dalton with a $5 super chat. Hey, Ty, if we are down 28 or more at half, me and the wife will head on over to the pizzeria. Want us to save you a seat. Well, I got a post game to do, David. I am obligated to do those. That's what you get for being a sponsor. By the way, if you listen, you know anyone that's a small business owner, maybe you got a friend, family member, we're looking for sponsors. We are looking for some more sponsors. NIL destroyed Arkansas football. I mean, certainly doesn't seem like it's helping them the way we thought that it might. Bot Magnet says Green is not getting any better this year. Can't read the defense. Doesn't go through reads. Doesn't throw well. Bad decision maker. Turnover machine. Yeah, I mean he's putting the ball on the ground every game, and if it's not him, it's Jaquindon Jackson, and he's throwing picks. Again, it's that double-edged sword thing, right? Like then he can make big plays. He can make that big throw to Centennial downfield. He can make that big throw to Broden downfield if only he could catch the damn ball. Tesla, right? He can hit Armstrong on those underneath routes. And then he's going to underthrow, overthrow. You know, I believe he's missing protections. I don't think he's sliding his protection in the right direction. God, I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Put his ass at wide receiver. Could you imagine him at wide out? That's that Matt Jones conversation all over again. You talk about deja vu. You guys remember that? That's all fans talked about for his last couple of years. Like, man, he's not really improved as a thrower. Line him up at wide receiver. What did he do? He got drafted as a wide receiver. Unfortunately, Green is a one-read quarterback like KJ. Well, yeah. All right. Well, that is going to do it. I do appreciate you guys. If we're live on Wednesday, just listen, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. That way, hopefully, God willing, YouTube will send you a notification. I've got people telling me, Ty, I've hit the bell. I've got the bell. I'm subscribed in the bell. I've got them both, and I'm not getting notifications, or I'm getting them late. But that's when, you know, and I'll try to fill you guys in on Discord if I'm able to get something set up. We might we might reach out to, I don't know. We'll find somebody to come on maybe Wednesday. If not, we'll be back on Thursday night to discuss this Arkansas and Tennessee game. By the way, Patreon supporters, Enemy Insider, we got most of it up. All we're waiting for is the write-up portion. It takes me a couple days to watch what I can watch on the next opponent and what have you. But, yeah. All right. So that'll do it. That is it. I appreciate you guys. Remember, on your way out, like, share. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. I will see you either Wednesday, God only, maybe even tomorrow. I don't know. If someone, every once in a while, I'll get a random text, hey, let's do something together. Again, notification bell. But if not, I'll see you guys on Thursday night. Try to behave yourselves. I'm going to go eat some din din.